Good afternoon. That was so much better. It makes me feel like you're excited to be here. I am Miss Nancy. That's true. We all had to think about it. So everybody say, hey, Miss Nancy. Hey, all you Vacation Bible Schoolers. Well, tonight I have someone different. I'm hoping to bring someone different each time I come. So now, last night, a lot of you had never met Larry the Crocodile, right? But I think you've all met this guy. I think everybody has met this guy, right? Pretty much. All right, let me see. He's way down in there. Come here, guy. Come here, fella. Come here. Hello. Here is Waco. How you doing? I'm good, good. So, hello, Waco. Hello, Nana. Say, hello, VBS. Hello, DDS. VBS. I said DDS. VBS. La 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 la. Oh, stop, silly. So, anyway, here we are. I heard you got in trouble. I did not. You got in trouble. I did not. I got in trouble? Yes. Who am I in trouble with? You are in trouble with Pastor Emily. Really? But she's so sweet. I know. She's so kind. I know. She would never get me in trouble. Well, you and Larry the Crocodile. Oh, yeah. Me and Larry the Crocodile, we are both in trouble, aren't we? You got in trouble. Okay, stop singing it. I know, we got in trouble because guess what I did last night? She told the wrong story. I did. Last night, I told the wrong story. What? I did. Last night, I told tonight's story. So that means tonight, I'll tell tomorrow's story, and tomorrow no, that's not right. No. Tonight, I'll tell yesterday's story, and then yesterday, I'll tell, do you know what you're talking about? Let's just tell a story. Okay. All right. So yesterday, we told you the story of the widow's mite. Now, we're going to tell that one again in just a minute, but first, we're going to tell the story we should have told last night. Okay, the good news is you've already heard the story, so you know it, and you can help me. Maybe. Okay, so one day, Jesus went for a walk. He did, yeah, he went for a walk. And as Jesus was walking down the street, all the people started yelling at him, Jesus! Not so loud. Shh, Jesus. They called him a little, they said, Jesus. Oh, they were so excited to see him. It was like, look, there's Jesus. There's that guy, Jesus. He tells stories, and he talks to us about how much God loves us, and he heals people. It's amazing. And they all wanted to hear him. So they started following him. They did? Yeah, Jesus could never be by himself because everybody started following. So he's just walking down, and he got down by the seaside, and he looked out, and holy guacamole, you know how many people there were? 70 million. Not that many. Does anybody remember about how many? 5,000. About 5,000 people. That's crazy talk, I know. Just 5,000 men, plus women and children. That's even crazier, so many people. And then Jesus started to teach them. Here's what he said. He said things that no preacher had ever said to them before. He said, God loves you personally. He said, Monty, God loves you personally. He said, Willow, God personally loves you. He said, Scarlett, you have a place in God's amazing kingdom. He said, Allison, God loves you. Nobody ever called him by name like that. He said, God loves you completely. He loves you so much. He needs you as part of his kingdom. And he talked, and nobody got tired. And if they were hungry, nobody said anything. But then the disciples came up, and they said, Jesus, no shouting. Just whisper, Jesus. He said, Jesus, the people are hungry. So you know what Jesus told them? Yes, he said, go to McDonald's. There was no McDonald's. Oh, you like no McDonald's? No McDonald's. He said, go to Chick-fil-A. Oh, wait. You can't go to Chick-fil-A. Why can't you go to Chick-fil-A? They're not open on Sunday. That's true. That's true. But that's not what he said. He said, you know what? He said, if the people are hungry, you should feed them. And the disciples said, what? They didn't get it. What? They didn't have any food. And then out of the audience came a weasel. Not a weasel. Out of the audience came a boy. And that boy was carrying a little basket. And in the basket he had McDonald's. No. No. In the basket he had 2 little fish and 5 little loaves of bread, about the size of your fist, little bitty loaves of bread. And the disciples all looked at that and they shook their heads. Disciples said, that is not going to work. That's not going to work. Cannot feed 5,000 men plus the women and the children. Not going to work. That's not going to work. One person could eat that much. Mr. Josh could eat that much. That's right. Mr. Josh could eat that much. 5 little loaves of bread and 2 little fishes. And they said, what will we do? And Jesus said, if the people are hungry, you should feed them. So the disciples just sort of shrugged their shoulders, and they decided to go out among the people. Well, they all started. Now, James, he was one of the disciples, he started on the front row, and he got all the way down to the end. And when he got to Miss Julie, Jesus said, hey, James, how much bread you got left? And James held up his half loaf of bread, and he said, I still have half a loaf. That's crazy. he said, Peter, hey, Peter, how much do you have? Well, Peter held up his half a loaf and he said, I still have half a loaf. Half a loaf. They fed 1,000 and then they fed 2,000 and then they fed everyone. And you know how much they had left? Half a loaf. Half a loaf. Everybody had half a loaf left. Half a loaf and half a loaf and half a loaf. How many halves make a whole? Most people would say 2. But I say it depends on who blesses your bread. So when you go out into the world, if you look in the mirror and you say to yourself, oh, I am not enough. I am too little. I am just not smart enough. I am not big enough. I am not pretty enough. I am just dinky. You remember this story, and you remember that we told it on the wrong night. You remember this, a little basket of bread and fish may be small, but it is mighty. Good job. Okay, now we're going to tell the story we told last night that's also tonight's story. Okay, but we'll tell it short. Okay. So, because Miss Maria's got some dancing to do. Yes, she does. So, here's last night's story. Let's see what you remember. One day, Jesus was in McDonald's. No. Jesus was in the temple. He was watching people bring their offerings. Well, a rich man came. A rich man with 100 camels. And he put into the trumpet 100 gold denarii. Holy guacamole. And then a richer man came, and he had 150 camels. And he put into the trumpet 2,000 golden denarii. Whoa. And then along came a woman. And we remember that the woman was a widow, which means she did not have a husband because he had died. Yes. So she had no one to take care of her, and she was probably very poor. Yeah, very poor. Well, she walked along, and she came to the trumpets where everybody put all their golden denarii, and she saw all of that money piled up, and she must have thought, I don't have much to give. What I have is very small. And she reached into her pocket. No, not pocket. There's nothing in there anyway. And she pulled out 2 tiny coins worth a penny. worth a penny. And she put her 2 little mites into the trumpet and she walked on. So when the disciples asked Jesus, well, who gave the most? Jesus said, who do you think gave the most? Who do you think gave the most? The man with 50 candles. Nope. The man with the 100 candles. Nope. You got one more guess. McDonald's. No. No. Who gave the most? The widow gave the most. Here's why. Because she didn't give out of her pocket. She didn't have much to give. She gave out of her heart. So what she had to give was very small, but it was mighty. Okay, we've caught up. We've told both stories. Tonight, we're going to do some crafts and some wonderful things about the widow's mite, which I thought we were doing last night, but we didn't. And now you have to go. I don't want to get in there. I know, but you have to get in. I do not want to get in there. I do not want to get in there. Why not? Because I want to see Miss Maria. Aww. Do you want to see Miss Maria dance? Because she's so pretty. She is so pretty. All right, I tell you what. You get in here, but I will leave it open just a little bit so that you can see. Okay, everybody say bye, Waco. Daddy. Okay, let me get you in there. Don't forget my tail. I'm not forgetting your tail. All right. Okay. All right, everybody say, hey, Miss Maria.